Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Saucy McFoodlefist, and I am trying to feign excitement playing this game. I'm getting a little bored of it, to be honest with you, so I just want to get it done as much as possible. In the last one, we talked to the priest who saw the ghost of the girl and he got freaked out. That's about it. Now we're back in our room or whatever. The trimmers follow me as I get home. I had hoped a little stroll around the block for a few hours would help. Instead, I am assaulted with images of her smile, the loathing in her eyes, the stench of gore, the horrid crunch that comes with every movement she makes. Even the old memories have been sullied by her, and Ma no longer sounds as sweet as it is meant to be. What? And Ma's song. In the end, all I got is a sinking feeling that I'll never get rid of her image, and another ridiculous idea that may or may not even work. The sun is already hanging low on the horizon when I make it back, and for the first time, coming home feels more like a chore. Welcome to my fucking life. Only I didn't arrive to an empty room. Because as soon as I open the door, I am greeted by none other than...
Z-Man?
Who's this? Ashton? Whatever proverbial stone has made a home at the pit of my stomach automatically flies out the window at the sight of Ashton. Sitting comfortably on my couch, munching on a bag of chips with both his feet propped up atop the coffee table. Common sense dictates that I should throw him out. Any person in the right mind would. Why? But, like many other things I've gotten accustomed to, I simply take it all in stride. I never did bother turning him away at the first time to begin with.
Ash, how many times do I have to tell you not to call me Z-Man?
Yeah, Ash.
Stop breaking into my apartment! Call the cops on you, but doing that feels like a joke in itself because you are one.
He looks a little young to be a cop, don't you think?
You gave me a key the last time I did that, remember?
Alright, whatever.
After the last one you broke, I can't keep replacing the knob just because you think it'd be amusing to lockpick the hell out of it. And hey, is that my...
Ash smirks at me because, of course, he has the gall to smirk, knowing what he did. He pops in what is likely the last piece of chip into his mouth and folds the wrapper neatly on the table before throwing it in the nearby trash. Behind me, the television starts blaring the music and the end credits of a movie. He's been likely waiting for a while if he's gotten impatient enough to rummage through my cupboards and watch something.
You ate all of it! I was saving that one for the weekend!
I'll replace it.
What exactly is this about?
In an instant, he sits up, and every trace of amusement is gone from his face. He clasps his hands in front of him and leans forward. A minuscule gesture meant to ease, yet the grim expression on him tells a different story altogether.
Has everything been alright with you lately? Anything odd?
You
Yeah.
saw me last night at the housewarming party, Ash. Pretty sure I'm doing fine.
I'm not asking about that. Remember the letter thing Isabella's been yapping on about? I'm asking about that kind of odd.
Yeah, well, there was, the girl at the church. I look at him. That's the last thing I remember. I don't remember going to the party, but maybe they just skipped over that. Gaped more like. His serious expression doesn't waver despite the perplexed look I shoot him. There is a brief second I let pass as I wait for the heavens to fall somewhere. It doesn't come. That's what she said. The sky is still bathed in vibrant reddish hues as I await for the night to arrive. Luxborn is still the same busy city, and everything in the room still appears to be as it did seconds ago, including the unnerving ticking of my wall clock. But if Ashton, calm, cool, and collected, always logical Ashton, takes interest in this, something or someone must have fucked shit up somewhere.
Well, the dreams, they're a lot worse than usual. There's a woman now, ever since we saw that letter. I don't know if it's the same one Isabella talked about. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't.
It is.
I really don't want to go back to sleep sometimes.
Isn't that obvious?
Was the worst. Anyway, why are you asking about this?
Becca's been saying weird things lately.
Like what?
Weird like...
Same kind of weird Isabella says.
Aight, bro, stop right there. I thought you didn't believe in this stuff.
I still don't, but even Rebecca, out of all people, claims there's something. Whatever this is, someone has got to look into it. Everything about this screams shady.
I'm Slim Shady, it's the real Shady. Just
Are
kidding.
you sure you even have the time? Ain't you busy with your current case?
I got taken off that one this morning.
Didn't you say you were getting closer to...
Apparently, the higher-ups think I'm doing a horrendous job at it. It doesn't matter, though. If these two cases are connected like I initially thought, then regardless, I'm on the right track. Have you seen the news this morning?
He grabs the remote and cycles through numerous channels until he gets to a news report about yet another guy who's been found dead in the early hours of the morning today. Burned alive this time. Oddly, no fire has spread, and whatever image or whatever damage has contained within the place the body was found. The room itself, however, has been completely vandalized. Help me! Help me! Help me! Another murder, the authorities claimed. If only they knew.
You think this is...
I don't know what to think, Zach.
He rises from the chair and begins pacing the length of the room, lacing his fingers roughly around through his hair.
I just know there's something. There must be. There has to be.
There's something. Ah!
Well, you do have something in mind, I'm sure. A plan? Come on, Ash, you're good with that.
I do. I'm just not sure if I'll get anything out of it.
Well, a plan is better than no plan at all, ain't it?
Almost too sudden, he swivels on his heel, and for a passing moment, I thought he's going to shout at me. Instead, Ash simply plops back on the couch, crosses his arms over his face, and releases a long, ragged breath. His voice comes out smaller, closer to a whisper when he speaks again.
I should have looked into this when she was still here.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Maybe none of this would have happened if I did.
Ah, there it is. No need to ask who her is. Everyone should have, could have, would have. All the frustration in one statement, while all we can do is to cope. What should I say? Make sure that this doesn't happen to anyone else. You're not the only one stuck in this. Make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else.
I are still here. We'll manage, one way or another.
Don't make it sound so easy. We have no idea what we're dealing with here.
I ain't saying it will be, but we gotta do something.
Okay, well, I would be scared out of my fucking mind if two of my friends were already dead because of this thing, and it was coming after me in my dreams.
Make
and
sure this doesn't happen to anyone else.
in my real life. You know, I don't know. That's just me. He grins. None of it reaches his eyes, but it's a start. We've got to start picking up the pieces somewhere and hoping that everything will turn out for better at some point soon. And Ash, well, frustrations aside, he's always been preferred taking matters into his own hands. However, a little reminder that there are other people with him who won't hurt.
You have a point.
I always do. You just don't listen.
If he minds the bluntness in my words, he won't show it. But little by little, things begin to look up, if only for a short while. Ash leaves the mere minutes close to sundown. He said a little until then, not even a hint of what he's aiming to do after. Well, if it ain't any of my business to know, his whole reticent attitude on the matter gnaws at me. At this hour, the streets are changing once they get too busy and people are heading home after a hard day's work. A little of the bustle matters to him as he steps into the crowded walkway, however. There's only one goal in his mind, and I wager that there's nothing I can do to stop him at this point. He's probably decided on it long before he made the decision to drop by. What is it, to go drink? And despite that, he lags behind.
What's wrong, Ash?
His mouth opens, then closes, but whatever he says is lost with the clamor of traffic outside.
Is there something I can do?
No, just say where you are.
I can't do that. No can do, Ash. Ask me anything but that. No way in hell I'm gonna pretend there ain't a problem when there is. This is a really big one, and I'll be damned if I let anything happen to you guys while I sit here. I'm done running when things get tough.
What? You think you have a better plan?
Who knows if it's better? At least it's something.
If all this is going to do is put you in danger, then I'd rather you not do anything at all. I never want to wake up to that kind of thing again. Finding out one of my friends has been found dead. Murdered in her own apartment.
Yeah, that's kind of rough.
One person is enough.
This is still better than having no other course of action, yeah?
He's about to argue for a moment, but
Look, bro, if things ain't good, I'll be the first one out.
what does that
Allow
mean?
me this one thing, aight? Just this one time. If it doesn't work out, you'll be the first one to know. You can laugh then, or berate me all you want. But please don't ask me to step aside like I'm incapable of doing anything to help.
I don't get what they're talking about. I have no idea if it's the look on my face or the tone of my voice. Ultimately, though, although his mouth presses into a thin line, he nods.
Do what you want. If you can check in with Rebecca, I'd appreciate it.
Well, when he stumbles into the sidewalk and allows the afternoon crowd to swallow him whole, I like to think the tiny gleam in his eyes is the closest we can get to optimism in this situation. Whether that alone would be enough to give me a peaceful sleep tonight remains to be said. Sunday, October 30th. It's almost Halloween! One night to Halloween! Night falls, and despite my best attempts to sleep, continues to elude me. With the images still stuck in my head, flashing every few moments, it catches me off guard, with Ma's lullaby still echoing in my ears, no longer soft to the tune it once was. And the terrible gnawing in the pit of my stomach. It's no wonder I can't bring myself to drift off, even for a little while. It's not as if there's a complete lack of things to do and waiting for sleep to come, if it ever will. And under 2:45 in the morning, I find myself cleaning my photography equipment for no other reason than just to pass time. Though I'm going to be honest, it's not the night terrors that are keeping me wide awake tonight, but the anxiety and the hope that I'll hear from Ash soon. And for what happens in the 42nd time my eyes shift over to the end of the table where my phone lies still. I've not heard from him since he left. Is that Elmer's glue? He hasn't promised a call, of course, but yet a part of me wishes that he would have the common sense at the very least. Waiting is a tough game and concerns stretching out minutes longer than usual. It's impossible for unpleasant thoughts to not enter my mind. Dude, I hate waiting. I don't know about you guys, but like one thing that I do, like I just hate like when I know something's gonna happen, I just hate waiting on it. Whatever. Gives me anxiety, whatever. Moreover, it does not help that when the clock finally strikes 3, my hand stills. Oh no, something spooky's happening! It's a complete and utter lie to say that my heart didn't leap straight out of my throat for that brief second. My whole body has gone motionless, ears straining for any further sounds. A couple of tense seconds pass. Nothing. Of course, with how old the building is that I stayed in, power fluctuations ain't nothing new. Every now and then, this would happen, leaving a few tenants in a rather bad mood. Nothing unusual anymore after a few years of living here. But this time, the sudden hush brings a stillness that raised the hair at the back of my neck and set my heart beating hard against my chest. Something reeks in the air, and in an instant, the place is no longer home. It's a prison. Every rational fiber of my being screams at me to leave. I force myself to swallow and keep my head clear as I lay down cleaning the tools and begin gathering together the rest of my things scattered on the table. The camera's body, lenses, filters, diffuser, phone, anything that my hand could reach. With the resulting panic, like in the nightmares, it is a scent that reaches me first, a foul, putrid smell filling my lungs with a heavy stink of death. My fingers clamp tightly to the camera, holding it closer to my body, as if the tiny thing could provide enough protection to whatever is with me in the room. It won't. But it's the only comfort I have.
Hello? I know you're in here. What do you want?
Something moves behind me, a soft scuttling over the walls, followed by a broken squelch of painful creaking, and what can only be rotten flesh and broken bones. Without hesitation, I whirl around my fingers and camera at the ready, patiently waiting for another movement.
Leave! Leave now! There's nothing here for you!
Oh shit! There's a brief moment of silence, and for a short while after, I think my pleas worked. Then, with no warning, the shuffling resumes, and along with it, the sobs of a woman. Freaky. The light flashes, fleeting one last time, allowing me a glimpse of the grotesque, misshapen features before it is once again lost in darkness. All of a sudden, her tune changes, no longer a soft cry, but high-pitched shriek brimming with pain, grief, and anger. Every ounce of courage I've mustered flees from my body at the sound, and the next thing I know, my hand is gripping the knob, and I'm wrenching the door open. Her wails follow me as I flee into the night. Pacing has always been more of Ashton's thing than mine. And when I think to sit, I let my minutes tick by until the idea comes to mind or my pulse settles down. And yet, dried leaves and twigs crack under my shoes as I make another pass at them. Terror is still too mild to describe what this is. There's no way in hell I'm going back. Whatever she is, pleading won't work. Well, whatever you did worked, because obviously you're not dead. The moment we saw that she's been after us.
But I can't run. Not this time.
Nearly 2 hours have gone by since I left the comfort of my room for the solitude of the park. 2 excruciating hours since I've started making calls. No one's answering. Not even Rebecca, who always keeps her phone line open in case other people need her. It does not help that Ash has not said a word since he went off too, as well.
Damn it! I knew I should have asked him before I let him leave.
Knowing him, he can be anywhere. But there's really only one place he'll likely be at this time. The sun has already peaked over the horizon, and when I make it to the mansion, I have no idea what I'm expecting to see when I got here. There's Ashton, first and foremost. A part of me wishes my assumptions are correct and he's really somewhere close by on a stakeout. Steak. But I've never been so lucky, of the lucky sort when it comes to that kind of guessing. And even after I've made a round of immediate vicinity, I could find neither hide nor hair of him. Calling him does no good either, considering how awful the signal is here. He can't be too far if he's really here, but if he is, he would have already noticed me by now. Instead, there is only silence. The kind that is too quiet to find any sort of comfort in. Even though the trees seem to have fallen asleep with the rest of the mansion, oblivious to what's happening around it, a small island of stillness is otherwise in a fast-paced world. No wonder the whole Ansem feels at odd with the rest of Luxborn. While the city is alive, growing every minute, breathing every second, and pulsating with life, the village remains unmoving, unchanged. It's not surprising the legend still lives up to this day, and why she's still here, walking its hollowed halls. Well, she's doing more than walking the halls. She's like following people around, like into their homes and shit. And beyond me, the mansion looms ominously. But now we ain't the time for fear. Now ain't the time for your fear. Okay, and if Ash is not here, I've got the rights to let know what I've seen and what's in their home. And whatever grimace Ash has with them doesn't matter. Grievance, I should say. There might be grounds for imprisonment, but they don't deserve a brutal death at the hands of a malicious spirit. And I'm sure that's what Isabella would want if she was still here. I head straight for the door without a second thought. It takes a few rings and there's a loud foreboding stillness before I hear footsteps on the other side.
God and Bennett, only a Nazi would knock at such an ungodly hour. Where's that damn butler when I need him?
Before long, the door swings open with Mr. Luke Wright standing behind it. Seething would be a complete understatement to describe him. Like this, I have no doubt that Ash would find him a suspect.
You, again. It's bloody 6 in the morning. What the hell is it now?
Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
Oh, it's not a good time. Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't. Unlike you, the ones living in this house need to sleep. Come back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you.
Before I can get a word in, he slams the door in my face and pulls it shut with much finality.
Wait, sir, you gotta hear me out.
Sorry, I was scratching my
You're
ear.
both in danger if you stay in there. Have you seen the news lately? Everything's not a coincidence.
Only silence answers me. Maybe if it was Ms. Wright. Oh, who am I kidding? There are limits to how far a person who will believe in you. Then again, I don't believe Isabella when she warned us. I didn't believe Isabella when she warned us. And now I'm here, desperately trying to save people, even though, if I'm aware, it's completely out of my own capacity to do so. Is that what they call karma? If so, that's one horrible way of turning things around. Taking people's lives, playing with their fears, making them feel useless.
You're around, ain't you? You here? Inside this house? Listening, watching, or whatever it is that you spirits do? What do you want? You're already dead! Leave us!
Nothing. I don't even know who I'm talking to or if any sane person is supposed to be doing that. The only thing I've got after this feeling of foolishness is washing over me. Or perhaps this is just losing my mind. Out of the other options and the other ideas, I let my hand slide off the door's surface and fall listlessly to my sides. I can go back to Luxborn, try to find the others, try to get out of this mess with them, or let them know how much in deep shit they all are, or we all are. Both sound good. Either way, my loitering here ain't helping at all. I let the quietness calm me down for a few minutes before standing up and heading out to fetch my bike. It's quite a distance to Luxborn, but if I hurry, I'll reach it. I'll reach it in maybe. The rustling stops as soon as I turn around, and the strain for my ears for another movement around me.
Yo, Ash, you there?
No answer. If he is here and I've just missed him earlier, already my feet are moving in search of him a second time. It won't hurt to double check. Triple check, even. With how big the property is, he can be anywhere. If things ain't so urgent. I hate the way this guy says ain't. And if they ain't so dire and lives ain't at stake, I'd ain't probably to have waited for him to show up ain't again.
But damn it! He needs to realize what exactly it is he's dealing with.
Do you know what you're dealing with? This is not just how some petty criminal would simply be thrown in jail. It is something beyond the authority of his police badge could ever give him. This guy needs to stop playing the big damn hero, sit down and chill. And if he continues the way that he is now, I'm afraid he'll make a fatal mistake this time. My breathing comes in short, shallow rasps as I make it back to where I started. Still no sign of him, and I'm beginning to think I'm wasting my time here. But that's when I hear it. I'd recognize that melody in a heartbeat. Ma's favorite song. I listen for a while, trying to gauge where exactly it's coming from. My feet starts moving before I can stop them. And there it is, as a circle, a corner. From the room in the first floor. A single window is open, but I can't make out whoever's inside. However, I'm sure the singing's coming from there. Stare why, I'll hear old tunes of all places. I don't know. It's not an obscure song by any means, but it is rare to find someone who knows this. And for some reason, Death seems to follow the song around. Panic lodges itself at the base of my throat at once. Whoever's humming might be, I don't want to be a pessimist now, but on the off chance that it is Miss Wright.
Shit.
I shouldn't just barge in there. I can put myself in danger before I can save anyone. And Ash will tell me the exact same words. Might even work with the dissertation why that's a bad idea if he ain't so lazy. But damn it, god damn it. Someone could be in danger. Open the window. I'm gonna be a hero. I can search for Ash, but what if it's too late by then? With how big this place is, he can be anywhere, and it's very likely it's time that we come back. Somebody's already in a bit of the dust. What? Somebody would already bit the dust. Okay, that and the cries grow louder against my ear the longer I linger. Almost impossible to ignore, drawing me in like a moth to a flame. For a moment I let myself shudder, shaking in an uneasy feeling off my head. This can't be a good idea, not by a long shot. Still, I've got to try. Funnily enough, for the last couple high profile as the Wrights, they don't seem to have any security detail patrolling around. And a few guards here and there, but I still expect them to have more considering the size of this place. It works to my advantage though, as I can't really complain when there's a high chance that I might get arrested for what I'm about to do. Luckily the window's wide enough to fit through without making any noise. Oh my god, I need to sneeze. Okay. There's certainly no going back now. But as soon as I step into the parlor, it all ceases. While I find no trace of a woman I heard crying like I expected to. Typical black guy breaking into someone's house. You know how it is. Am I right, guys? Just kidding. The room is still empty with the time of the morning, and I'm left standing awkwardly in the middle of the hush. Maybe I should just hide somewhere.
Hello? Are you here? I heard someone earlier, and I'm here to help.
Hoping for an answer, I left the question hang in the air. But several seconds merely go by without a word or the slightest movement to indicate there is someone in here, has been here. With the stories I've heard, the things I've seen, it takes effort to keep my brain from going into that line of thought.
I'm not going to hurt you. If you're here, say something.
Nothing. Am I just hearing things? No, I'm pretty sure I heard someone. But with no one responding, I can feel pretty silly about this. And the awareness I've just trespassed the house for nothing because of some voice prickles at me. Suddenly, the silence feels uncomfortable and eating anxiety slowly creeps up my back. And I should get out while I can. If there ain't no one here, it ain't there. I don't spare the room another glance when I walk back the way I came. Out the window, I leave before someone else
I
notices.
thought I heard a servant moving around here. Turns out it's just a rat scurrying about.
Oh shit.
How unpleasant.
My heart shoots up into my throat, and it shoots up. I can run. The window is a few steps away. I should be able to escape, but instead, out of some foolish impulse, I turn around. Perhaps it's only because it's the impression of the guy left me a few times when we met is nothing but unsettling.
This ain't what you think it is.
Is
You're quite
Johans the
distance from
killer?
the kitchen, I'm afraid. Perhaps I should lead you there.
Someone's in here before me. I wasn't here for what you're thinking. There was sobbing and...
The first blow knocks the wind out of me, sending me heaving and crumpling into my knees. Tears well up in my eyes as the pain swells and twists my wrist behind my back.
You've gotta listen to me.
Then again, dirty thieves aren't welcome in my kitchen either.
For a moment, there's only silence and a sudden piercing ache, this time at the back of my head. The room abruptly tilts on its axis, dimming. On the verge of unconsciousness, I can only hear scuffling on foot, the thud of the door being closed, and a woman crying, asking for help. I know no more. It's Halloween, this is Halloween, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. The pain is the worst when I come to a sharp piercing ache somewhere at the back of my head, begging to be noticed. But it's nothing I can't handle. Blearily, I open my eyes, expecting to be greeted by sunlight. However, the walls that welcome me are unfamiliar. With everything that comes into focus, I recognize what the place is. A sex dungeon? A cell. It looks nice for a jail cell, to be honest. Looks like my apartment. Like, especially those walls and shit. Yeah, totally. Dark, cramped, with only light coming from the moon outside, streaming into the window, and the soul barred by thick metal bars. Memory rushes back with sharp bursts. The mansion, looking for Ashton, a familiar tune, a woman crying. All of my head still aches from the hit that I've received. Oh, and I'm scratching my head.
Still better than a morgue, I guess.
Yeah. Gingerly, I pull myself up, stretching for the cramps on my shoulders as I do so, but stopping when all of a sudden a movement induces an acute struggling pain right through my arm.
Damn, they got me good. What time is it?
As expected, they've taken away everything on my person. Wallet, cell phone, my keys, meds, even a small pack of gum. Protocol is protocol. In the first place, ending back in another cell ain't my agenda. The first time was not a pleasant experience, and this certainly won't be either. Considering who has likely put me in here, it could be much worse. The bars are cold to the touch when I approach it, looking for another person on duty. They usually allow us to contact someone, and Ashton at least has to know I'm here. He'll be pissed, I'm quite sure of, but he's the only one who can help me prove my innocence and help me get out. However much I don't rely on him for this. The hallway in front of the cell is empty, but voices float through further in, likely the poor officers assigned to late night duty. Judging from the snippets of conversation I catch, today's topic is the snack that moron who thought it's wise to cross the rights. They use other names too, which I'll like to use words with them in the future Yeah, they say the N-word. Okay. But really, I'm in no position right now.
Excuse me? Anyone?
Silence.
Excuse me? I need to make a...
Blood freezes in my vein and my grips on the bar tightens. I don't dare turn. Because, more than the haunting melody, I'm afraid of what I see. Of who's singing Ma's lovely lullaby. A death song. That's what it is now. But I guess that's what it always has been. If that's the end calling, I prefer there is no vicious smile. That's to say the least.
Oh, Zack, sweetie. Don't you love this song?
Oh, I knew it. My head snaps in surprise, and I swivel and see Ms. Wright of all people, sitting on the cot. Her smile, look, she looks different, and she's wearing the necklace. Her smile as easy and sweet as ever.
Miss Wright? What are you... how did you...
I jostle the cell door to check. A prison break is the last thing on my mind, of course, but her presence here begs for a lot of puzzling questions to be answered. Locked tight. Was I just too groggy earlier and that I didn't notice her?
Don't be surprised, darling. Money and power can get you anything.
She has a point. Out of all people, she knows more than anyone how to play the game in the world. Yet, to hear it straight out of her, it's like talking to a different person. I don't bring this up, however. Perhaps she's just having a bad day or a tiff with her husband. After the incident the other day at the party, well, I don't like to gossip, but it wouldn't be surprising. Anyone can say the strangest thing when in a bad mood. Still and all.
You ain't supposed to be here, Miss Wright.
Why ever not? Isn't it comfortable here?
Well, it is, kind of.
I kind of have a crush on Hana, to be honest.
But you're still not supposed to be on this side of the cell. Besides, it's too early. Or too late for a visit. This is beyond the scheduled hours.
Quit being such a square, Zack.
Oh, I'm sure Chief Inspector Lee wouldn't mind a little chat between friends. Besides, his prison officers just snoring in the break room.
She brushes off a lock of her hair from her shoulders, stands up and meanders around the length of the cell, whatever space it would allow. As if this is just a simple stroll in the park, making a show of checking every way. Scratch past the occupants of the room has left on the walls. Nevertheless, sorry for that sentence, I just kind of fudged it. Nevertheless, I try to make sure of myself against the corner. Any closer and we'll be crossing each other's personal spaces. Frankly, that's more than I'm comfortable with.
Be that as it may, they have cameras here too. How are you going to explain that when they check?
That doesn't matter, dear.
Man, dude, Hana is so
Your
hot.
popularity ain't going to give you any kind of immunity from the law.
Yeah, well,
I appreciate the visit, but I'd rather not see you get into trouble.
it makes her stop. But just as I'm about to start to think I finally reasoned with her,
You don't want to get out of here.
Of course I do. But you don't have to do anything. It's my fault. I'll find a way out of this mess.
You did bring it to yourself.
This really is just a misunderstanding, Hana. I didn't mean to trespass. If you'll just listen to the whole story, you'll know I didn't mean to do it.
I'm really disappointed in you.
I look straight at her at the sudden change in her tone, checking for any signs if I've upset her with what I did. Of course she would be. She would have every right to. But after all the talk and the little attempts to build a friendship, here I went and broke into another person's house. Her home. On so many levels beyond any kind of friendship, it's still wrong. Her anger doesn't seem calm as I'm expecting it to, however. Instead, she smiles. A horrid smile I didn't think I'd ever see from her. It's... Oh, Hana, are you okay, Hana?
Breaking into our home. Disturbing my love in his sleep. You've upset my Prince Zack. You've really upset him.
But look at my red dreads, though.
Hana?
Panic swells in me, ripping up my spine. Irrational, I know. You shouldn't feel this way about anyone you know. But here I am, backing away, an ample distance between the two of us. I'm afraid, wholly afraid of her. This ain't Hana. The bars rattle as soon as my shoulder hits it. A hindrance, not freedom, but to safety.
Has anyone ever told you how beautiful those eyes of yours are?
Nana? Occasionally, my sister. Hana? You alright?
She laughs, a little deranged thing coming from her. There's no cheer in it, no warmth. Only spite. Makes me want
to take them home, wrap them in those pretty ribbons I have in my vanity. I'm pretty sure my prince would love it, don't you think, Zachary? A little gift from me.
Stay away from me!
She moves in short, sudden bone-crunching twitches that are too painful for me to watch. I want to look away, but I can't. I'm screaming for help before I know it, jolting the bars with as much force as I could.
Somebody, get me out of here! Anyone, please!
Bugger off! Some people are trying to get some sleep here!
No! She's here! You've got to let me out! She's gonna kill me! Someone! She's...
Oh, you poor thing. Don't you worry. You won't even feel the pain.
What beautiful eyes you have. You've unlocked a memory fragment. Marianne. Alright, we are going to end the episode off here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, do what you do, YouTube, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.